Hello everybody, on this episode we're talking a whole lot of CDL news. We're talking about book releases, we're talking about abuse on stream, unfortunately, and we're also going to be talking about money and how one team wasted millions of it. Don't go anywhere, my name is Blinger and this is Level Up. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode. Let's get right into it. We got a lot of CDL news to cover. We're going to start off recently with Crim6, who was on a CDL broadcast being interviewed by Miles Ross. And the topic of how they scrim versus how they play, or how they compete, came into the discussion. There's been a lot of discussion lately among the pros that how they scrim on 20 hertz and then they play on 60 hertz, it changes how they play the game between spawn rates and things like that. And the pros feel like this is something that needs to be fixed, because how can you practice on one way and then play on a different way? Listen to this part of the interview where Crim6 basically is telling Ross about this issue, and then he thinks he gets cut off, and he's like, oh, wait, no, this is something we need to talk about.
I understand there is some turbulence in the preparation getting here.
Yeah, well, for scrims, we're playing 20 hertz, and for matches, we're playing 60 hertz. You want to talk about up and down? When we go from scrims to matches, we got different spawn points to worry about. We got different... Wait, what is this? You guys playing a cutscene already? I'm not done talking.
No, we're just looking at your stats.
But keep going. Anyways, if we're going to scrim on 20 hertz, we better be playing on 20 hertz. Or if we scrim on 60, we better be playing on 60. All right? Players Union, guys. You're done. We want good spawns, please.
So again, awesome job by the CDL for taking the concerns of the pros, listening to them, and then changing it. Because if you're going to practice one way, you need to be able to play that way. There's no point in having these scrims on 20 hertz that change how they affect the game when you're going to be playing on 60 hertz for competition. There's really no point in having those scrims if that's not exactly how the game's going to be played in competition. So huge shout out to the CDL for making those changes and listening to the players. Huge news coming from another player. Kenny of 100 Thieves has recently come out on one of his streams saying that he wants to either be benched or he wants to be traded. Take a listen.
As much as I don't even know if I can say this, but I'll say it. Like, I even fucking asked to, like, be benched or traded, like, probably a few weeks ago. Just because, like I said, I feel like us together was just not good. You know, we have so much talent, and it's just not clicking.
So at first, that's what was reported by the CDL Intel. That clip came out and it showed Kenny in a very bad light, basically saying, hey, he wants to be benched or he wants to be traded. Basically making it seem like he's done with this team and he wants to move on. But that was only part of what he actually said. Later in his stream, he goes on to say this.
I guess I shouldn't have said it, but it's like, people are blowing the trade thing. It wasn't like, yo, I went to them, I was like, yeah, I want to be traded to a different roster. It was more so like, yo, what can we do to get this team to win? Do I need to be benched? Do I need to be be off the team? Like, that was my point. It was a frustrating thing where it's like, bro, we suck as a team. What the fuck needs to work? And that was the alternative.
So as you see, it's not really him wanting to be traded. It's just a lack of them winning. It's the frustration. They have such an amazing team. The expectations were really high for this COD team coming in this year and doing amazing things, and they haven't met those expectations, that of the fans or themselves. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. He's just frustrated, and he wants to do at this point whatever it takes, whether it be him benched, him traded, whatever, to see this team win. So he really probably doesn't want to leave. He's just at the point to whatever it's going to take for this team to win, he's willing to do. Even if it means he has to sit off this team or he has to go to somewhere else to play. He's just at the point where it's really time for this team to get going, and that's what he wants to see. Now, at the same day that these were released on COD Intel, the 100 Thieves also released their starting lineup for the Stage 2 Major, and as we see, Kenny's at the top of the list. He's still on the team. He hasn't been benched yet. But as of now, this is the starting lineup. We'll have to wait and see if they actually do move forward with him staying on the team, or are they going to bench him, or are they going to trade him? One thing's for certain, this 100 Thieves team needs something done. They haven't really lived up to expectations. Slasher for now on the bench, but we'll probably see him back soon, as everybody's kind of been rotating in and out from sitting on the bench. Now our next story kind of ties into the CDL a little bit. Dr. Disrespect recently came out with a book, Violence, Speed, Momentum, and as you can see in the picture here, he had a photo shoot where he's basically showing off his book. He also, as you know, on his streams, he does amazing green screens, and he's basically telling about his new book and how he's now a New York Times best-selling author. But the interesting thing I want to start off first before I really get into the book about this picture is there's a note that's laying on the table in front of these books, and we're going to zoom in, and if you see, the note says, if you look at number 2, announce CDL team. Now, I don't know at this point if he's just playing with everybody or if he's actually at some point going to announce a CDL team. If you remember, back in January, we posted a video where we basically talked about what he wants to do in terms of getting a CDL team, what he wants to name them, where he wants to locate them, things like that. But with Dr. Disrespect, you have to take everything with a grain of salt, because you never really know what's true, what's over-exaggerated, if he's just teasing us for views and things like that. He's a master of manipulation when it comes to how he wants people to perceive him or to get people to view him, things like that, or always keeping his name in the media. One thing though, he is saying that he's a New York Times best-selling author. While that's not true, he is a best-selling author in his own right when it comes to Amazon, because they have him listed as a bestseller in the Minecraft guide section. For some reason, he's number 1 in the Minecraft guide section on Amazon. Not really sure why, but if you want your chance to pick up Dr. Disrespect's new book, Violence, Speed, Momentum, it's only $18.33 right now on Amazon, and it is number 1 in the Minecraft bestsellers guide. Not sure why, but if you want a chance to pick yours up, head over to Amazon and get a copy for yourself now. And our last story we're going to be talking about today is Toronto Ultra's Cammy, who's reportedly being fined and sent for sensitivity training after posting the hard C word on Twitter. Now, this is something that the pro players have even been talking about a lot lately, and posting on Twitter about the fact that they're kind of on Cammy's side, where he shouldn't have been fined or sent for sensitivity training because he's Scottish. Where he's from, this word is just in their language. It doesn't mean what it means here in America or in Canada, where Ultra is based out of. And we don't know if it was somebody that made a complaint, if it was the team that took offense to this, but whatever happened, they decided that he's going to have to pay a fine, basically a donation to a local shelter, and then also be sent for sensitivity training. And I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think he should be fined or sent for sensitivity training when this word is basically just in his common vocabulary because he's Scottish, where he's from? The team has released a statement, and Cammy has gone to Twitter to make an apology, saying that it was completely unacceptable of him. He didn't mean for anybody to take offense, and that's where I'm kind of wondering if anybody really did take offense, or if this is just the team saying, hey, this word is unacceptable. Let me know what you guys think about in the comments. Now time to pay some bills and thank one of our sponsors, Rogue Energy, the only drink company in the world specifically geared towards gaming with 4 unique product lines. Energy, the perfect alternative to sugar-filled energy drink. Extreme, which will provide you with the most energy, focus, and performance possible. Hydration, same great taste with no caffeine. And Shake, a mouth-watering 0-calorie energy milkshake. It's time you try the best gaming energy drink on the planet. Head over to rogueenergy.com to get started and use code TRUEVENOM to save on every order. Next up, we're going to talk about CSGO, and specifically the team Cloud9 in it, where they've decided that they're going to be stepping away from the CSGO league for now, and come back when they feel it's a little bit more viable for them. They've spent a ton of money acquiring what they thought was going to be this amazing team, and we're going to talk about exactly how much money they spent. But after they spent almost $1.8 million over the last 5 to 6 months, they're now pulling out, calling it quits on their Colossus project, pulling out of CSGO. For now, they said that they'll be back. This is only a temporary pullout. But it's funny to think about a team like Cloud9 spending all of this money, $1.8 million, basically down the drain, and then saying, yeah, okay, we're pulling out. We're done with this for now. We'll come back later. And the fact that they'll probably even lose a lot more money on top of this, because a lot of these players, which they paid a ton of money to get in fees and paying out buyout contracts and things like that from other teams, they paid a ton of money. Now they're probably not going to be able to offload these players to another team, so another team is not going to be paying their buyouts. So Cloud9 is effectively stuck with these players. For now, let's be honest, we all know Cloud9 is not one of my favorite teams. They treat players horribly, but that's a conversation for a different video. But they're for now stuck with these players, which they've paid millions of dollars to get, that they basically have no need for now. And we're going to take a look at exactly how much money they paid for some of these guys. So you see Alex here, they paid $250,000 for, and they're paying him about $40,000 monthly almost. Mezzy, they paid $83,000 for him, and then they're paying him about $12,000 monthly. If you look down at the bottom here, S-Tag, they paid $500,000 for, and they're paying him about $45,000 monthly. When all is said and done, for acquiring fees, they paid over $1.1 million, and their committed monthly salaries are just under $137,000 a month. Players that they're probably going to be stuck for a while, or until they decide that they're going to cancel the contracts themselves and stop paying these players, which usually is Cloud9's MO. What do you guys think about this? Do you think this was way too much money for Cloud9 to spend? Do you think it was the right amount? And then the fact that this team failed, what do you guys think is going to happen to these players? Let me know in the comments below. And the last story I want to cover today, probably the one that's going to irritate me the most, just because this is something that's really stupid, and the fact that this is even something that's still happening is crazy. I'm not going to show any of the video. If you want to find it, I'm sure you can find it. But Smash God, who's a streamer on Twitch, recently him and his girlfriend were on stream, and it started off fine, but then he's trying to tell her to leave because he wants to talk to his chat, and she doesn't leave. She just kind of sits there, and then he's like, hey, go get my beer from the other room, and she's like, I'm not your maid. And then he proceeds to turn the camera so you can't see them. A door opens, and I'm guessing they walk out the door, and you hear a very loud, audible slap. It's clearly a slap. There's no denying that it's a slap. He even later comes back and says, he tries to justify it to his stream and says, it was a candy slap, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. And then he tries to blame his chat for making this a big deal, that they just realized that he hit her, and they're trying to, kind of stick up for her and say, hey, this isn't right. And he's blaming them for saying, you guys are making a bigger deal of it than it really is. Then he proceeds to go on and start blaming her for causing the issues and things like that. And then I think he starts realizing how bad this is all really starting to look for him. And he tries to start whispering to her in her ear to basically make it look like this whole thing is okay, that they're both fine, that they'll get through this. But the problem is he whispered loud enough for the mic to pick it up, and the stream heard it. And he says, hug me or I'll beat the out of you. So the thing that really worries me here is, if this is what's going on a live stream, what's he doing when they're not on a live stream? That's my concern. And the fact that this guy even had the ability to be on a live stream is beyond me. Luckily, I don't think he's going to be streaming much longer. Twitch has banned him, so he can't stream on Twitch anymore. We don't know if he's going to try streaming anywhere else. But luckily, there was somebody else there who came in, to bring her a gift, and that person was able to get her out of there. And then while the stream was still going on, she took the stream with her, but you could hear, audibly there was a fight going on in the background, disagreement or something between Smash God and this other person. So unfortunately, this is something that needs to stop. I don't care who you are. You don't have your right to put your hands on somebody else. Domestic violence is no joke, and unfortunately, this is something that we still have to talk about in today's day and age. Personally, something I think that needs to end. And Smash God is our dumbass of the day. I think he, in today's cancel culture, he's somebody that definitely needs to be canceled. Domestic violence is never okay. Putting your hands on somebody else is never okay, especially when you're on a live stream. And unfortunately, I don't think he's ever going to change. But you know what? I'm not really too worried about that. I just hope that if he doesn't change, that this video will haunt him for the rest of his dating life. I hope that when women start talking to him, they'll be able to find this video and realize this is not somebody I want to get in a relationship with. And then fun fact, this isn't the first time this guy's actually been in trouble, kind of. He was actually on Judge Judy a few years ago, being sued for live streaming his blind Tinder date with on it was either YouTube or Twitch or something at that time, but he basically filmed it without her consent, and she sued him on Judge Judy. And it's a very funny episode. If you got time, go look for it on YouTube. But unfortunately, this guy abusing his girlfriend on cam, something that domestic violence needs to stop. It's no joke. And if you're one of those people that feel like you're in this kind of situation, know that there's hotlines and there's help, and there's people out there willing to do what it takes to help you. You are not alone. And no matter what situation you're in, if you feel like you're being abused, if domestic violence is something you're dealing with, please call the number on your screen right now. Get the help you need. That's all the time I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, please feel free to give us a like down there below. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. True Venom Gaming, we have a lot of new content coming every week from our awesome content creators, as well as a new level up video coming every week. So if you want to stay up to date and level up your gaming news, make sure you subscribe. My name's Blinger. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.